Alright, coming back at you with a new microphone. So hopefully that sounds a lot better. Also trying out this new camera angle here. In the car, you can kind of see the steering wheel. Although I will say the wheel in the car doesn't line up at all with the amount of steering input being placed. I think it's just in the in-car steering wheel you just get 90 degrees left, 90 degrees right, so it ends up being like 180 degrees lock to lock, which doesn't match up with you know, my actual steering wheel. I think it's like 3 turns lock to lock on my actual wheel. Anyways, this is a pretty fun one. Lots of jumps on this track here. Definitely you can get caught out if you're not aiming the right way going off the jump. That can definitely put you into a tree or a bad situation. Sadly, this 2 left didn't quite nail on either of the 2 runs where I actually recorded. There was another time where I managed to nail it in 4th, which is pretty important because we have a long section of staying flat. And actually between this attempt here and the next one, you'll see here I'm staying in 5th gear. So you'll see the time I get at the end of this run versus the time I'll get on the run following this. And you'll see just the importance of squeezing out every additional mile per hour you can for every additional second you can. You know, the longer you travel for faster, the sooner you'll get to the finish line, right? So it might not seem like a huge difference, but the time at the end is going to be quite reflective of staying in a higher gear at a higher mile per hour. Nailing some of these turns pretty well. Again, taking it as one smooth radius as much as we can. Big on the brakes, turning in, trying to power out without getting too much wheel spin. So again, we can put down the power moving forward instead of spinning the wheels. These 2 tight turns, I kind of thought about Scandi flicking them a few times. I think it's faster to just brake and turn in normally without the Scandi flick. Here, this is a real test of those jumps, right? You have to really position yourself in a way like this one. You have to position yourself in a way where when you're going off the jump, you're already pointed in the right direction for where you have to be once you land. This one here too, not the fastest way I took that turn. You'll see in the next one. I think I also managed to take it in 4th, instead of downshifting into 2nd there, really slowing myself down. But yeah, you'll see there's a lot of fast flowing sections on this course here. So even there, kind of staying 5th. We'll see what I do here. Do I downshift to 5th? Yeah, I do downshift to 5th. So you'll see all those times I'm in 5th on this run. Notice for the next run how many of those places I'm in 6th and how much time we make up for it. Here again, just trying to survive, trying not to get bounced off. This right here, if you really nail the line, you can take it as one smooth 5th gear turn. Coming into this 4 here, kind of easy to go wide over that crest, so you gotta really keep yourself tucked in, make sure you're rotating. Here, down this, what you could maybe call a straight, again, lots of bumps to really unsettle the car, really get you pointed in directions you don't want to be pointed. A little bit sloppy with this hairpin here. We'll take that better on the next time around. But you'll see, man, it's kind of like a few really tight turns, whether it be a square or a hairpin, followed by a very long straight, or you know, a combination of 5s and 6s, which you should be flat out for. This is a turn, man, I could never quite nail that flick going right. And going into this one. Kind of getting not the grip I want coming out of both those corners. And again, here we have another section being flat, which is very important, so we're almost here at the end. And again, just kind of a little bit taking it easy there so we don't bin it at the end. And we set a good time. And anyways, yeah, when I first set this time, I was like thinking this is a pretty good time, and we'll see here when the leaderboard loads. Oh, actually it won't load because the game was testing my resilience. You know, rally is all about not giving up. So hey, we couldn't connect that leaderboard. But you know what? Not going to give up. I'm going to try again. Definitely want this time to be recorded. Felt like a pretty good one. Hoping to see that is going to be a pretty good one. But man, these servers are not connected to them. But you know what? That's alright. We're going to stay persistent. Let's retry the connection. Definitely want this time to be recorded and not have wasted my time that I took to set that lap. And man, the game just does not want to give it to us. Never back down, never what? Never give up. Never back down, never what? Never give up. Sorry, I think this is like our 4th or 5th time trying to connect these servers. And I do promise you, we eventually get there. There it is. So, interim pole position there, if you could call that a pole. We still had a few more hours left on this. This was at the beginning of the time trial, which I thought was a pretty fast lap until I came back nearly 24 hours later to find that a new time had been set, and that in fact we did not go balls to the wall as I thought we had. So, one more time, again a new slightly different camera angle here. I feel like this one actually is the best representation of kind of how, at least from where I'm sitting with my wheel here in the room, to the distance of the TV. I feel like this is a good representation of depth and how it would actually look. So again, you'll see hauling as much ass as we can through these turns. You'll notice I'm taking a lot of these in a higher gear than I was previously. So you'll see through these courses just a lot of staying flat, turn, brake, downshift, staying in the throttle the whole time. Sometimes you gotta maybe come out of that throttle a little bit just for traction, just so you're not overpowering the surface with 300 horsepower or whatever it's creating. There, get out of there in 4th gear. Not the cleanest way I took that one. Unfortunately, I don't have the cleanest one recorded. And unfortunately, the time I took that the cleanest also didn't result in the fastest time. So here we are. Just a little bit of dab of brakes, turning in, staying on the throttle, and you'll notice we're in 6th for all of this, whereas last time we were kind of bouncing around between 5th and 6th. And man, I think here we make up a lot of time just by staying flat in 6th, getting a few extra miles per hour versus being flat in 5th. Here again, that's the jump we just went over that will, end your time trial real quick. And this one here that we just went over as well, you really have to prepare yourself for what's going to happen when you land. So point yourself in the right direction. Think about what's going on when you land. Getting through here as fast as possible. Again, we have a big tight turn coming up, getting slowed down, getting rotated, and getting back on the power. Again, another little straight, heading into a big braking zone and turning. And again, not really trying to scandy flick it, just trying to slow down and get the car rotating and back on the throttle. Typically, more often than not, scandy flicking is a little bit slower, even if it does look cooler. And I think this one, I'm going to really nail this one. Hoot, bang. Probably don't try that one at home. That's definitely hard in the suspension. But as we get into these really late stages of the time trial, here we are in 4th. But yeah, sometimes a lot of these time trials, at least being at the top, requires you abusing your car, suspension, engine, in ways that you would probably not do so in real life. But, that's the nature of playing a time trial in a video game. Anyway, staying through here, still flat. You'll notice here we were in 6th the whole time. Up here we're staying flat. However, here he says flat right, and definitely not a flat right. You gotta put a little bit of braking there, or else it will hit the wall on the outside. Here again, try and get a nice radius so we can stay in 5th, and getting out of that turn as fast as we can. Coming up until this 4 right, again, over that crest, want to make sure we keep it tight, want to make sure we don't go wide into the wall on the outside. Likewise here, want to make sure we don't go too tight and hit the guardrail on the inside. And through here again, about surviving these jumps, keeping the car straight. Let's get into this one. Much cleaner than last time. Maybe there's an extra, 2%, 5%, to clean up. But generally pretty happy with how we took that. Again, back into a long straight, back on the power. With every tight turn comes a long straight after it. So this one's a really big focus about getting exit speeds out of these tight turns. And again, here, man, I wonder how many seconds I could have saved if I could just take that turn followed by this turn with some good speed. there's probably, without exaggeration, a good 4 to 5 seconds. Just because right when you exit, again, you have this long section here, so getting good exit speed will really have a big effect on your final time when you have a long straight like that. Anyways, our last time was a 4:18, and I thought that was a pretty good run. However, now we have a 4:09. So that was, you know, a much better run there, significantly much better. I think we made a lot of that time up just in those straights, maxing out 6th gear instead of 5th. And this guy in first, man, he knew something the rest of us didn't, because he's up 6 seconds on everybody else. Me and number 2 here, pretty close. But Dago knew some line, some shortcut that we weren't aware of. Anyways, you don't always get it, but it was still fun. Thanks for watching.